Welcome back to Out the Buzzer Podcast. I'm your host, Marquel Lewis, and today on episode 4, we will be diving into the Los Angeles Lakers and how they won this NBA championship and their path to this ring, the bubble ring. We also will dive into the NFL and what's been going around the league so far in these first 5 weeks. So let's get right into it. And I know I've been gone for like a couple weeks, but I've been trying to been working hard, trying to get some real equipment. Hope the mic quality is better now. Hopefully we'll try to get a face cam in too. But let's dive into it. So the Los Angeles Lakers is our in 2020 NBA championships. I mean, we kind of all expected this after the Clippers fell to the Nuggets. They blew that 3-1 to the Nuggets. We kind of knew that the Lakers was going to win the championship for sure. It was expected. LeBron greatness is just too much for any team besides the Clippers, and the Clippers really disappointed by not being able to face the Lakers. They really disappointed by losing, going up 3-1, then blowing up 3-1 lead to the Nuggets. And LeBron proved us wrong time and time out there again, time and time. He never proves me wrong because I watched this man destroy my Celtics for a decade, beat my Celtics for a whole decade. So I can never doubt the man. And I knew he had an agenda coming in here and winning this ring because he set that promise. He said, we'll get this shit right and we're going to bring a ring in. And that's exactly what he did. And I know Kobe looking down, rest in peace, Kobe, looking down on us and the Lakers and seeing how hard they work for the championship. Because don't think nothing's easy. Nothing's easy because that would the Clippers thought. Clippers thought because they had this team that stuff's gonna be easy. They went up 3-1 against the Nuggets and they didn't take it serious. And see what happened. That young team stabbed their ass right in the back and came right back and won that series. So nothing easy. I don't like that narrative that LeBron had an easy road. We've been saying that for a long time since he was out east, saying, oh, he had an easy path. Now he go out west, his second year out west, he wins a championship. I don't know what else he got to do to prove to y'all that he's one of the greatest, if not the greatest. If he's not number one, he's definitely number two. It's whatever you want. And I don't really like the GOAT debate and stuff. The GOAT debate is I'm not going to say it's stupid, but I think it's get to a point where the top 60 of the debate is too much. Like whoever you think is the GOAT, that's your opinion. It's arguments for both sides. Arguments for LeBron, arguments for Jordan. But like LeBron, man, we watched this man with our own eyes. I'm a 20-year-old, so I watched this man with my own eyes. I saw when he first got swept. I was a child back then, really didn't understand basketball back then. But I saw when the first time he got swept and took a pretty average team to the finals and lost to the wasted per team in the Spurs. And the one thing, LeBron has never lost to a team that was worse than him in the finals besides that 2011 series against the Mavericks where he choked. He choked, yeah. But like he overcome that with so much more greatness, with back-to-back check wins, being the Thunder, being the Spurs, eventually lose to the Spurs again, but then coming back with the Cavaliers and coming back 3-1 and being the Warriors. LeBron's resume is just too greatness. He made in his career top 3 in every statistical category: rebounds, assists, points, blocks, steals. And it's just something that's unheard of. If you thought a player was going to do this, you never thought that. You was crazy. But to be top 3 in every statistical category is amazing. He got his 4th ring, his 4th Finals MVP, 3 Finals MVP, and 3 MVP. It's ridiculous how this man's in year 17 and continue to put up elite numbers. 30 points per game, and he averaged 30 points per game in the finals. And there's no doubt he deserved that Finals MVP. If AD then it's a possibility if AD didn't go down in Game 5. And he missed like a whole 2 quarters. I don't know how much time he missed. He missed a couple minutes. If he didn't really go down that Game 5, he probably could have won. But LeBron Game 5 was spectacular in itself. That 40-point game, and they should have won that game if Danny Green could have hit that shot. But it don't matter. LeBron came in Game 6 and said we closing this shit out right now. Him, Rondo, the veterans, the championship winners, came in and said, we're going to close this shit out, man. We're not going to give them no chance. We're not giving no motivation. We're not going to make them believe they can beat us. We're going to get them out of here now. Let's get our ring now. That's exactly what they did. Came in with an attack, aggressive mindset, and won the game basically at the end of the second quarter. And now, I congratulate the Heat for making it this far. Because nobody thought they was going to make it this far. Everybody was calling it to be a second round exit. And even I was. I didn't expect them to make it this far. And I do congratulate them for doing it. Because we've been talking about Jimmy Butler as being a bad teammate or a locker room cancer since he first left the Bulls. Since he first got traded from the Bulls. He was no locker room cancer. He's one of the people that put in the same amount of work as he does. And that's what he found. He found a bunch of people that put up the work he does. He's an amazing leader. He's an amazing teammate, and he really drove them teams. He really drove this team to this finals, and I congratulate him. And I do believe if he keep playing with this hardship, he keep playing with this effort, keep putting the work in, I could see Jimmy Butler win a ring, especially if the Heat add another piece. Because if you're a free agent, Miami is already enticing because it's Miami. And then you get how Miami just went to the finals. You get Bam up and coming, Duncan Robinson up and coming, Tyler Hero up and coming. You got veterans like Butler, Crowder, Dragic. You got another young guy in Kendrick Nunn. And you got an excellent coach in Eric Spoelstra. The Heat deserve to be there. And if you say they deserve to be there because they got blown out in most of the games, that's wrong. Because they did beat the 4th seed Indiana Pacers, swept them. They did beat the 1st seeded Bucks, beat them at 5. They also beat the 3rd seeded Celtics, who was the favorite to beat them. They beat them in 6 and got the 3-1 lead. It's just that the Heat had a Cinderella type story, and the only thing they just couldn't finish out. They played against a monster, a beast that they just couldn't beat. They had a retreat because that beast in the West, now LeBron, he's unbeatable. At this point, he looks unbeatable, and I know that he's beatable. KD beat him. Look, we gotta have a whole army, a whole 500 soldier army to take down this one man. Cause that was basically Steph, Clay, Dre, and KD was a 500-man army, and they took down the Beast. Now, but the Beast, he got some fresh meat. Took out some fresh meat, and on his way to the bubble ring. And it's well deserved. Ain't no asterisk on this ring. Y'all say, oh, the bubble gave him time off to rest. It's like a new season. Some players could be injured, but they had time to rest. And it's like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, everybody had time to rest, but everybody had the same opportunity. Everybody had time to rest, not just LeBron. Everybody had time to rest. They even did a bubble seed and jump to even get the Portland Trailblazers into the playoffs, because they just ended right there if they would face the Memphis Grizzlies. It would have been easier, but he still got there. He still beat the Trailblazers anyway, so it doesn't matter who he faced. But LeBron had this magical playoff run that he really showed us that he's the greatest, and that's my opinion. And I don't want nobody getting mad at me for calling LeBron a GOAT, but he's my GOAT. I saw this man with my own eyes, and I saw what he can do. Just game after game, year after year, he looks like he's on another level. And it's crazy to say this when he's 17 years in, and at age 35, to say that he keeps evolving. You would think he'd be regressing by now, but he keeps evolving. He punching Father Time right in the mouth. Boom, boom. Jab, 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 jab. Year after year, keeping Father Time away. And Father Time just can't land a punch LeBron. LeBron had his first major injury in his career last year, where he got injured and missed like 30 plus games and didn't make the playoffs. And everybody's like, oh, LeBron this, LeBron that. LeBron this, LeBron that. People don't understand. They was the first seed before LeBron got injured, and they was very well on their way to the playoffs. But things happen, and we tend as people, we tend to have recency bias. We tend to forget what a player is about just because we haven't saw them. It's the same thing about Steph Curry. Steph Curry basically missed this whole last year, and people already claiming somebody else is the best point guard. Nobody's in the league. No point guard is in the league is better than Steph Curry. No point guard. Steph Curry is still the best point guard in the league, and you can show everybody when he come back next year with Clay, Dre. Maybe he can fix Wiggs. They signed a big. They got the number 2 pick. They can do a lot with that. It's interesting what they can do with that pick. But going back to the recency bias, it's just people was too fast to crown Kawhi Leonard as the best in the league when you got LeBron right there standing this way. Who says Kawhi Leonard win that ring last year if Curry and KD is there? I mean, not Curry, Clay and KD was there. And it's a possibility he just don't. We wouldn't be crowning him at all, but that's what happened. He won a team because of an injured team. So LeBron is still the best player in the league. He's my GOAT. He been proved this to me, but he just keep adding on and on to his legacy. And I'm happy to see Dwight Howard win a ring. You know, he been through a lot after leaving the Magic. He been through a lot. He couldn't never get back to his status, his dominant status. But I'm glad he won his ring, and he didn't win it as a non-factor. He's a contributing factor. He was a big factor in winning this ring. When the Rockets played them, nobody could stop him because they run that stupid small ball. He was a very contributing factor to this ring. What else? I'm happy for Avery Bradley and Rondo, 2 former Celtics. My favorite team to see them win a ring, even though it's Lakers, and I don't like the Lakers. They tying us for the most rings in franchise history or NBA history. They just tied us, so it's okay. But I'm like, once a Celtic, always a Celtic. I'm glad Rondo got a ring. I gave Avery Bradley got a ring. I wish Avery Bradley was there, but he wasn't. But I'm still glad that he got that ring because he still was a big factor on that team. And I think they'd have swept some teams if he was there. But series after series, LeBron and them lose game 1, they lose a game, and people are like, oh, Lakers this, Lakers that, Lakers this, LeBron this, and LeBron come out and just punch everybody in the mouth and win 4 straight. He did it time by time. He gained some trouble this series because they were the first team to take 2 games away from him. I think, yeah, they definitely the first team to take 2 games away from him. So that was just that dog and Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler was fighting to not give up. And, you know, it's hard to see them get completely destroyed in the closing out game, but you kind of saw it head into that direction. LeBron was not about to give up. He was not about to let this go into the game. So he know he had to get this over with, and I'm proud for the man. He been through a lot. And I'm like he said, give him my damn respect, cause I never knew a person of this stature, of this greatness, to ever not be respected by some people just because somebody before him is kind of on his level. It's just crazy to me. Like, if you can't give Braun his respect for winning 4 rings, 4 final MVPs, going to the finals 8 straight times, if you don't respect that, you just blind to the fact. You just blind. You don't want to acknowledge his greatness. And once again, I just want to congratulate the Los Angeles Lakers on this championship. It's really special. I want to big thanks to Anna Silva and Chris Paul for being the main people of getting this together, getting the bubble together. They did an amazing job. 0 positive COVID-19 tests. It's amazing what they have done to get this to this point, and I like that. Also, thanks to everybody that contributed to the social justice movement and stuff like that. And I know they lost a couple ratings, but I hope this can change a few people's minds about this, about social justice and about racism, because it's still very much among us. But last thing before I move on to NFL, they really have outdone themselves with this bubble, because they entertained me throughout this whole bubble journey. And it's really nice to see my Celtics play again, even though we kind of left on a disappointing note, losing to the Heat in 6. But I hope my Celtics can come out next year even stronger, even better. Hope we get an upgrade at center, move Danny Tice to the bench, and we just move on for there. But that's it. Let's move on to the NFL. First topic I want to go over in the NFL is the Titans. Let's get them out the way. The Titans and they outbreak at they outbreak a part of their team instead. And I know they put play the Bills Tuesday, and I think that game is still on schedule, barring any other tests that's kind of positive. But I, people saying if they continue to violate the rules, should they be forced to forfeit the game? And I agree with that. NFL is doing their best job to have these teams play, have a season this year, and then if you want to follow protocols and you get an outbreak at your team, you should suffer some type of punishment. Maybe a pick taken, maybe a possible suspension, or maybe a forfeit of a game. Because we can't let one team jeopardize the whole season for everybody. Also, I want to get into the Washington football team and how the bench of Dwayne Haskins. And I'm a Washington football team fan, and I've been thinking about this for a couple days and how the benching happened. And I know some reports and saying his immaturity showing. He's not really improving. He's a refresher. He's not really improving. All that stuff. I see the potential in Dwayne Haskins. I really do. And maybe his time in Washington is done, and maybe he do need that new scene. And I want to compare it to his own player, Alex Smith, because Alex Smith had a hard start with the 49ers. Tough start, they got replaced by Colin Cowherd. They eventually got traded to the Chiefs, where he had his best careers at with the Chiefs. So I don't know. Ron said that he haven't gave up on Dwayne Haskins, and I think he only doing this because he saw that the division is a chance to win the division. But that's no point at all, because even if we do make the playoffs, we just gonna get eliminated in the first round. So we get a worse pick. But I guess he don't want to lose the locker room because the team happy that they're finally winning. Because I can see by this player's standpoint, most of these players on this team came from winning college programs. So they're not really used to that constant losing, and nobody is satisfied with constant losing. They want to get to the playoffs. They want to win, and I think getting to the playoffs make them feel better. Even if we lose, getting to the playoffs is never exactly a bad thing because it's experience. You got the experience of it, and it's good for you, especially when you're a young team. So they decided to start Kyle Allen. Kyle Allen played decent until we got a helmet hit by Jalen Ramsey. That sent him out with a concussion, and we got to see Alex Smith, the man whose leg was in 3 places, the man who almost lost his life because of failed procedure on his leg that led to an infection. We never thought he would be able to walk again or play football again, and there he was on the field yesterday. He got sacked 6 times. Every time he got sacked, my heart dropped because I was scared for this man's leg. But it was good to see him back on the field, even though he didn't play particularly well. It was good to see him back on the field at least, and him still chasing his dreams as a football player. But yeah, I heard reports that Ron Rivera decided to start Kyle Allen next week, and I think that's the move. And I don't know if we ever will go back to Dwayne Haskins, because it's most like his confidence is most like he's shot. You get benched, and you felt like you had a good game against the Ravens, and you get benched, so that shots your confidence, and it do make you feel like you want to move on for the team and go to a new situation where a team actually respects you, actually believes in your potential. But he also got to realize that Ron Rivera got no attachment to him. Ron Rivera is a new coach. Ron Rivera didn't draft him. Ron Rivera didn't do nothing like this with him. So I do hope Dwayne Haskins found that place where he could be successful. Either that's here in Washington or somewhere else. I do hope he finds that place. Also, prayers up to Dak Prescott. He suffered a gruesome injury against the Giants yesterday. Completely broke his ankle. It looked so gruesome. And Dak been playing amazing. Dak been playing amazing to start the season. putting up crazy numbers, coming back. It's not his fault that his defense is literally garbage and sucks and want to give up 36 points per game. That's horrible. I think it's more 30. I think it's 38. It may drop to 36 now, but that's horrible. Either one is horrible. But it's sad to see him go down with injury. After how hard you can tell he's been working really hard and stuff, and really been trying to prove to Jerry Jones that he deserves his contract. And this is why I hate the franchise tag. This man played better than expectations his rookie year. Had a little drop in his second year because no Zeke, but third year, fourth year were both amazing. Even won a playoff game, and Jerry Jones still saying, "Oh, you gotta show us more." I mean, he's not Mahomes, but technically Lamar go getting paid, and Deshaun Watson got paid, and he's around the level with Deshaun Watson, if not better. They both won playoff games and stuff like that. Like Lamar have yet to win a playoff game, and we know he's most likely probably will get paid. And I hope Lamar with his first playoff game this year. But Dak Prescott literally showed us everything, and Jerry Jones refused to pay him. And I know he like, man, that franchise tag, and y'all won by giving me on the franchise tag and not paying me, because now look at my ankle. I'm injured, and y'all can say, well, we don't want to pay you this money because we don't know how you're going to come back from this injury, and blah, 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 and hoopla. But that's the business. And then you got to accept that NFL is a business, and they're going to do what's best for a profit and money. It's a business at the end of the day. And it's not only you that they got to pay attention to. So I hope Doc come back from this injury stronger than ever, better than ever. And if he's not in Dallas, I would love to see him go to a place like the Colts, who got a nice, strong offensive line, a good run game, let them sign a receiver so he could actually build. And they actually got a really good defense after they move on from Phillip Rivers. So I would last on my prayers out to Dak Prescott and hope for a speedy recovery. And let's get into this Sunday night game. This Sunday night game was so weird to me. It was the Seahawks versus the Vikings. The Vikings came and punched Seattle in the mouth. They completely surprised me because Seattle couldn't move the ball whatsoever on this horrible Vikings defense. This Vikings defense got no corners. Their DBs began attack, and they were shutting down Russell Wilson in the first half. Shut him down. 0 points, barely moved the ball, and then they make a couple mistakes. Now, well, first of all, Dalvin Cook get injured. I think his hamstring, and then he's out for the rest of the game. And then that's when things start to turn. Russell Wilson gets the ball, score instantly. Then KJ Wright get a pick. They score again. I think they come down the field. I think the Vikings come down the field, kick the field goal. And then the Seahawks score again. And then the Vikings score again. No. Yeah. Let's get the field goal. And Russell Wilson threw a pick, which led to a Kirk Cousins touchdown to Adam Thielen. So it was a 26-21 game. Seahawks punt the ball off. Vikings get the ball back with 4 minutes left. They chew the clock all the way past the 2-minute warning. And it's 4th and inches on the 10-yard line. Around the 10-yard line. And Mike Zimmer, their coach, instead of kicking the field goal and going up by 2 possessions, he decides to go for the win and basically go for no 4th and inches. If he gets the first down, they win the game. If he don't, Seattle got a chance to win the game. In my opinion, I don't think it's conservative to kick that field goal. You're going up by 8. They got not only drive down the field and score, but they also got to get the two. They got to convert on the 2-point conversion, which is like it's likely, but not very likely. So they decided to go for the win and do a inside run with Alexander Madison, and he gets stuffed. He runs into the back of his blocker and gets stuffed. So now Russell Wilson got the ball on 6 yard line, and he drives 94 yards down the field. Him and DK Metcalf, and they in the game. Fourth and goal. DK Metcalf 1-on-1 touchdown. And I don't understand. They know their corners is not the best, and they still decide to leave DK Metcalf 1v1. It that makes sense. They left DK Metcalf 1v1 multiple times that drive, and they continue to exploit them. So the Vikings lose that game, and it's a heart wrenching loss, heartbreaking, gut wrenching loss because they had that game. They one mistake from either going to overtime or possibly winning that game. Because who say they kick the field goal, the Seattle Seahawks draw different plays, and who said they score and they get the 2-point conversion anyway? So I think that was a bad call by Mike Zimmer. I think you should just kick the field goal, win up by 8, and that's more as a clear victory than going for no 4th down. Because you got a quarterback on the other side that's most likely the MVP of the season so far, and you give him 1 minute and 40 seconds with timeouts to drive down the field and score, and that's exactly what he did. You don't want to, like they say, you don't want to give people like that chances, them type of chances. But I took the chance of going up by 8. I think that was way more safe anyway. Now, if he would have got it, he been looking like a great coach. But since you didn't, that's what hurt you. And last couple topics. Michael Thomas, Saints wide receiver, get set out this game today, Monday Night Football game on October 12th, because he got an altercation with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and reportedly he punched him. That's the report. We don't know if that's true, but we know he did get an altercation. So it's not because of injury; it's because of team discipline reasons, and that's not a good look on him. That's not a good look to do. We already been talking about how he complains a lot, but that's just not a good look on him. Also, Falcons finally fired Dan Quinn, and they also fired a GM, which is both good things. Dan Quinn been choking so many games. It's like, how? He should have got fired last year, and you can say, oh, he went to Super Bowl. He's still Super Bowl homegrown 3 years later. And you don't want to coach like that. You don't want to coach that. If we get there, we get there again. He's literally filled this team throughout the year, and that made me wonder: is they going for a rebuild now? Is they going to get rid of Matt Ryan? Let Matt Ryan walk. I don't know Matt Ryan contract up, but if they're going to get rid of Matt Ryan and let him walk, or they're going to trade him if he's not in a contract and draft a quarterback. Because clearly Matt Ryan, even though he was an MVP once, he's not going to give them that Super Bowl ring. It's just not going to happen. Julio got to stop. Julio got to be healthy. He got to stop being injured. We want to see him on the field because he is a top 3 receiver in the league. So, yeah, the Falcons moved on from Dan Quinn. Baker Mayfield has a rib injury, and we don't know how severe that is. And the Browns started off really good this season, 4-1. 4-1. They was one of my playoff teams. I was one of my playoff teams because they had that extra spot, the 7th spot, and I think they was gonna make it anyway in 6 spots because I thought they was gonna improve. And I'm glad to see Baker doing good. Odell playing better. Jarvis Landry playing about the same. Nick Chubb just went out with injury, but he's playing good. And good to see Kareem Hunt back in that starting role because he really shined yesterday. One more thing before I sign off. The 49ers. The 49ers had lost a lot of players this season. Starting with Nick Bosa. D Force not there. Richard Sherman still injured. Jimmy Garoppolo went out with an injury. Raheem Mostert went out with an injury. Deebo Samuel was out with an injury. And we saw Mostert, Garoppolo, and I think Deebo Samuel all come back today. Also, Kilo was experiencing injury, but he's back now. And they got completely destroyed by the Miami Dolphins. Now, I didn't expect this. I said it was a trap game, but I didn't expect Miami to put the work on them like this. Now, their defense is looking horrible. Their corners is looking real bad. Really, really bad. And it's like, should they traded DeForest Buckner for that first round pick? Because their first round pick is not looking that amazing either. And I think their first round pick is Javon Kinlaw. Yeah, no, I'm mistaken. The first round pick is Brandon Ayuk. I'm so stupid for saying that. Javon Kinlaw never played for them. I think Javon Kinlaw got drafted by the Falcons. I don't know why I said that. A little mixed up. But their first round pick, he's not mine. Brandon Ayuk is playing good. But you make you believe that they should have drafted at least a DB, because they DBs is getting destroyed and demolished by everybody. We saw Ryan Fitzpatrick over 359 and 3 touchdowns yesterday. That should not happen against Fitzmagic. But that's what happened. That's what happened. And that's kind of weird. Hopefully they get their step up when they start getting healthy, because it's looking like they're not gonna be a playoff team. Cardinals slowing down a little bit. They won the game yesterday. We had it was a tough game against the Jets. Not really tough, but they didn't really show a lot. Kyler Murray threw another pick another pick on the season. We threw a pick against the Jets. So they really not the team that we saw week 1 and week 2. Hopefully they get back to that play, because they've really been lackluster these couple weeks. Also, they lost a star offensive linebacker, Chandler Jones. So that's about it for NFL news and everything else going around the league. Once again, congratulations to the Los Angeles Lakers on the championship. And before I leave, prayers up to Dak for speedy recovery in his zone. But follow me on Instagram at AfterTheBuzzers.atb on Instagram. I will be posting there more regularly, and I'm giving y'all story updates of when I'm posting my podcast. Because I do not right now have a reliable schedule. I hope that by the beginning of November I can have a reliable schedule, and it's looking like Tuesday, Thursdays, because I can talk about the Sunday and Monday games on Tuesday, and talk about the Thursday night game on Friday. I may change to Monday, Tuesday, Friday. Give you back-to-back podcast episodes to talk about the Sunday games on Monday, and talk about the Monday game on Tuesday, and then talk about the Thursday game on Friday. But we'll see, and that's the road I'm trying to get to. And if you like the podcast, you like what I said, even if you didn't like what I said, we agree to disagree. Why don't you go by the comments below and tell me how you felt about the Lakers winning the championship, and how you feel about what's going on in NFL right now. And that's it. If you really like this, if you had a good listen, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tell everybody that's into podcasts or into sports talk that I'm trying to do this at least weekly, 1 day weekly. Not 1 day weekly, I'm stupid. At least one time weekly. At least once a week. That's it. That's it. At least once a week. I'm trying to get this to once a week and really get into the NFL, because now that's my first sport. We get into there. It's really getting up. It's really getting interesting. It's really getting bumping. So that'll be it for the After the Buzzer podcast. And I'm out.